Hi, this is Russell Stannard from teachertrainingvideos.com. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my YouTube channel, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the course that I run to help people to set up their YouTube channels. If you are a teacher, or perhaps you're working in an area where you need to develop a YouTube channel, then you might find this video really interesting, because I'm going to give you a little bit of information about how YouTube works, and I'm also going to tell you a little bit about the course that I run. Now, I had over 3 million views on my YouTube channel last year, 2020. That doesn't mean they watched the video all the way through, but more than 3 million times my videos were clicked on and people began to watch them. And that really does mean a couple of really important things. Number one, I can earn an income from the YouTube channel itself. It actually pays me because my videos are quite popular. But secondly, it generates an income for me because of the work I get behind it. In other words, people see my videos and then they invite me to do talks, they invite me to do presentations, they invite me to do training. And this is what you've got to think about in your business. It's not just the income that can be generated from YouTube, but it's also the business that could sit on the back of your YouTube channel, and I want to explain that a little bit more. I also need to explain to you, of course, how did I build up the channel to get so many people. We'll talk a little bit about that. Let's start a little bit to understand what sits behind having 3 million views on your channel. Now, this is where you need to have a vision about what your YouTube channel is going to do for you, because yes, you can make some money from the channel, but what else are you offering? If you've got many people visiting your channel, you've got great opportunities to generate an income. Now, the main way that I generate an income is through talks. So at the end of my videos, I always mention that if people want me to do a presentation, they can contact me, and I earn the majority of my income from my talks. I also earn some money because I have a few courses that I run. Normally these courses are in collaboration with another organization called Nile, and we run courses training teachers in using technology. Another way that I make a living is through one-to-one training. So I often get perhaps a university professor, or perhaps someone who's in business or wants to set up their own business and really wants quite high-powered consultancy training, where I teach them perhaps to use Camtasia or to build a YouTube channel, or perhaps to work with Zoom or Moodle, etc. The other thing that I get from the YouTube channel is the opportunity to do consultancy. Now, consultancy is a little bit different. It's often where I am working for an organization who perhaps wants some guidance with developing a platform that they're creating, or perhaps it is giving advice to a university about their training or their online delivery. And I have consultancies of that nature quite often, all again because of the YouTube channel. And finally, I've got a couple of other interesting ways of making a small income, and one of them is that there are various organizations that invite me to write blog posts that I get invited to do, and obviously I get paid for those. So the interesting thing is not just, yes, the YouTube channel can generate an income for you, but it's all the other possibilities that are connected to having a successful YouTube channel. Now, over the years, I've done many courses to learn more about YouTube, and I've watched loads of videos on YouTube to learn how to run a YouTube channel. And I do understand that really the biggest problem often people have is that they develop a YouTube channel, but then they haven't thought through that second part that I'm talking about. What is it they're going to offer? What is it that's going to generate an income for them? Because the YouTube channel can make you money, there's no doubt about it, and it does now, in my case, make me money. But there was a period in which YouTube was not generating much income for me, but it was still generating lots of business. So it is the second thing that you need to think about, and not the first. Yes, it is a great thing when your YouTube channel becomes monetized and you can start to generate an income from your channel, but the most important thing is to think about, well, if I start to get a few people watching my videos, what exactly is it that I'm going to offer that can help to generate an income? Now, if you're a teacher, it could be your classes, for example. If you're a business, it could be the products that you're selling. So there are lots of ways of thinking about that offer. Now, obviously, the most important thing is how do you build a YouTube channel? I'm going to quickly take you through the key stages of that. Now, my own story is quite interesting because actually I created a channel almost at the start when YouTube first came out. In fact, I think I even created the channel in the very first year that YouTube was available. However, it wasn't until much later that I became interested in really building my channel up. I have 55,000 subscribers now on my channel, and if I was to be honest with you, it's been 2 years work so far. So I've had to put 2 years into really building up the channel. So you need to create a channel, and obviously then you need to create content. Creating a channel is very easy. Creating content is more difficult. You've got to think about the technologies that you're going to use to create your content. Are you going to film yourself? Are you going to do what I do and do screen capture technology? So if you're going to create content, you're going to need to learn some technologies. For example, I work with Camtasia because that's a great screencast technology that allows me to record things on my computer screen, but also it allows me to include myself on my webcam as well as add extra interactive elements onto the screen to make it visually more appealing. So part 2 does require a bit of work. You've got to learn to use the software that you want to work with. You might need to learn a little bit about what microphone you need and what lighting you need. It's not particularly expensive. I haven't spent a lot of money to create my content. I've probably spent in the region of about £400–500 maximum, and you could even do it a lot cheaper than that. You could even use more free tools, so it's not necessarily expensive to create content. And then you've got to learn to optimize your content. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, you make a video, but if YouTube is going to share your video with potential customers, it needs to know what your video is about. And you've got to optimize it so that YouTube is going to engage with your video and share it with the right people. That takes a lot of work. There's about 12 or 13, I can't remember, things that I do to each video that I upload to optimize it. Now, part of the optimization process as well is not only optimizing your YouTube channel, so doing all the things that will help YouTube to understand what your video is about, but then it means sharing your video on LinkedIn and sharing your video on Twitter and on Facebook. And again, that's going to help basically to get more people watching your videos. Obviously, you want as many people to watch your videos as possible. Now, if you did all that and you didn't really have a clear offer in place, you would have to sit back and wait until your channel becomes monetized. And you need a certain number of people watching your videos before YouTube will allow you to monetize your channel. It's around 1,000 subscribers and it's around a certain number of hours of watch time per year. It takes a while. That, of course, depends on you. If you've optimized well, if you share on LinkedIn and on Facebook, on Twitter, etc., you can get there quite quickly. It took me quite a long time. I would suggest that the time scale is about a year for most people. Now, that might sound pretty worrying because obviously a lot of you are thinking, okay, I want to make money from my YouTube channel. But remember, it's the offer. I didn't have my YouTube channel monetized for a long time, but it was still generating an income for me because people were watching the videos and were contacting me about the other things. And it's that together, once you've obviously got your YouTube channel with an offer, whether it be courses or whether it be some kind of product that you're trying to sell, or whether it's, for example, services like being a teacher, then once you've got that offer clear, and obviously you need to include that in your videos, when you become monetized, you've then got 2 sources of income or more than 2 sources of income. You're making money from YouTube and you're making money from the offer that sits behind YouTube, and that's the way you generate an income. Now, I've developed a training course, and that training course will show you A, how to create your channel, B, It will go through different ways of creating content. It will look at some of the technologies that you can use. You can choose free options, for example, like Screencast-O-Matic if you're thinking of doing what I'm doing. And it will also look at Camtasia. And in 3, I'm going to show you how to optimize your YouTube channel. I'm not going to focus on things like Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn. That would be way too much. But I'm going to show you all the things that you need to do to optimize your channel. Now, what I can't do is tell you about your offer. That's something you've got to think about. But I certainly can get you set up with your channel, creating content and optimizing it for YouTube. You've then got to sit back and wait until you get the opportunity to have your channel monetized, and as I said, that depends on a certain number of people coming on. But you've got to think very carefully about the offer that you're making and therefore how you're going to create your income. Now, currently the course is full, but I am planning to run a new course in May. The way the course works like this: you can sign up onto the waiting list, and then there will be an option to join me in a webinar. That webinar is limited to 20 people. In that webinar, I will take you through the whole process of creating a YouTube channel, the content, and talking a little bit about some of the tricks that you can do to optimize your channel. So you are actually going to get some learning content even at the $15 webinar, but mainly it's an opportunity for you to ask me questions about what you're thinking of doing and for me to talk through the options so you can understand where you need to spend money and where you don't. Now, I've got to charge for this because I'm going to be giving quite a lot of information away. It's taken me many years to build up this knowledge, and also because really I need serious people who really want to learn to do this. So please, you know, if you're thinking of running a channel, I do believe that this will be quite useful to you. Of course, I'm not going to give you away all the information for $15. I'm going to give you a basic understanding of what you need to think about and throw out some of the options of the technologies that you could consider. Now, the actual course itself costs $150, and it's basically made up of 2 parts. There are 3 webinars, one on setting up your channel, one on creating content, and one on optimizing your YouTube channel. And along with the webinars, after you've done the webinars, there's learning content for you to access in the form of videos. Obviously, I give you the password to the platform and you can access the training videos so that you can literally follow step by step what I'm going to show you. In summary, I'm literally going to teach you everything that I do to run my teachertrainingvideos.com channel, my YouTube channel. Now, one thing I want to make really clear: if you were to look on YouTube and search through channels and find out various pieces of information, everything that I'm going to teach you, you could find it on YouTube for free. It might take you quite a long time. I'm still looking. I've been working now constantly for 2 years on learning all about YouTube and how to optimize my channel. What I'm going to do really is save you a lot of time. I'm basically going to teach you everything that I know, everything that I've learned, all the things that I've kind of picked up over the time. Now, I've even done a few courses myself and even paid for those, but as I said, the information is there. What I'm going to do is save you a lot of time. If you are interested, please just on the link below add your name, because there is a waiting list at the moment, and if you add your name to the list, I will then email you at the time in May when I'm going to start the new course. Remember, first of all, it's a webinar. That webinar's got quite a lot of value because I will provide a lot of information, and obviously it will depend a bit on the questions you ask me, but I will give you some of the options to understand what you need to spend money on, etc. And then if you decide to do the course, then obviously that's up to you, but at least that will give you an option to decide clearly what you want to do. Looking forward to seeing some of you on the course, and hopefully we're going to get a new course running in May.